Here we are, land the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in the state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Our family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick the code, stop for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same poverty at your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now be on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Break it down here on Dr Boyce TV.
What's going on, Black people? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I'm not going to be in here for too long this morning, but you guys know I always stop in every day and do my podcast. And I want to welcome everybody to Dr. Boyce TV. This is the home for intelligent Black people. So if you're not Black and intelligent, you may want to get out because this is not going to be a conversation that's going to make you happy. We are here to talk about things that empower us, things that are going to make us better people, things that are going to make us strong. And, one thing I'll tell you, the other day, just yesterday on my Instagram, I put something up that really reflected a thought that I had. I was thinking about slave culture. Give me a yes or no if you know what I'm talking about. If I say that we are infected as a community with slave culture, does that make sense to you? What do you think that means for you? Does it mean something to you? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you feel what I'm saying? I personally feel that there's so many situations where, the slave culture just creeps in and it causes us just to, act like buffoons and fools and embarrass ourselves and humiliate our children and just, just create a community that just really kind of sucks, man. And it affects all of us. All of us go through it. All of us have to deal with niggotry, or as my friend, my brother Nuri Muhammad, who came on the channel last week, was talking about negativity. He talks about negativity. And, and I'll tell you what, I think that the best way to kind of handle that is just walk away from it. Just say no. Just say no. Slave culture is a drug. And I'm going to ask you right now today to just say no. So if you can say it in the chat, just say no. That means that when some Negro comes up to you and wants to fight you over a chicken sandwich, just say no. When you got relatives, trifling ass relatives that want to beg and borrow and get on your nerves, ask you for money, just say no. If you got somebody that wants to get into it with you, or you ladies, if there's some trifling chick wants to fight you over a dude, just say no. If somebody comes and encourages you to be ignorant, Black man, I want you to just say no. If somebody tells you to go out and buy more Gucci and fewer assets, I need you to just say no. Say it in the chat. Right now, we're going to start the day off by saying we're going to just say no. When people come in there and they want to bring in sexual irresponsibility and all the stupidity that leads to all these damn lost babies out here because they ain't got no daddy, just say no. So I'm asking you right now today, this is something that came to me last night when I was eating dinner with my good friend in Arizona, Lene Javette. And I said, slave culture is literally this horrible handicap that ends up destroying our people, and I'm just sick of it. I'm not participating in none of that shit. In fact, I deal with like slave culture on steroids sometimes. I deal with these bionic Negroes on YouTube, got YouTube channels, and Dr. Boyce ain't shit. Fuck Dr. Boyce. I hate Dr. Boyce. And you know what? You know what I say? When I see that, I'm like, I just say no. I'm not responding. You go argue with yourself because I figured that out, right? And I put it, on my Instagram. It's like me thinking out loud. If you follow me on Instagram, which is the real Boyce Watkins, you'll notice that a lot of times I'll have a stream of consciousness and I'll say, "Ooh, I can share this because this is an insight that I think people can benefit from." And here's what I figured out. Anybody ever have arguments with people that really need therapy? Like just somebody where you like, goddamn shit, your ass need to go straight to Dr. Phil. You need a Dr. Phil, Ayanna Van Zant. You need Dr. Sebi. You need all kinds of people to come into your life right now that's going to make you whole, because whatever happened to you in your past has chopped you up into such little pieces that you are literally running around the world like the Tasmanian devil and dripping poison onto the rest of the world. Anybody have an argument with a Negro that needs therapy? You probably got them in your own family. And I realized that you really shouldn't argue with people who are in clear need of therapy. And the reason is because here's the deal. They ain't really arguing with you. They ain't arguing with you. If it was somebody else in your seat, they'd be arguing with them. If they were standing talking to the guy from the post office, they'd be arguing with him. If they were talking to their other neighbor down the block, they'd be arguing with them, right? Like they ain't really arguing with you. Actually, they are arguing with their past. They are arguing, their arguments are taking place inside their head because something about their past has shaped them in a really awkward way to the point where it don't matter who's in front of them. It could be Barack Obama, Mother Teresa, the Popeye's chicken lady. It doesn't matter. They're going to argue with whoever's standing right there. And so some Negroes just like to argue. And so what I encourage everybody to understand, and this is real life advice in terms of how you invest with your own life, just walk away. Just say no. Just say no. So everybody say in the chat, just say no. When negativity comes in your direction, just say no, don't participate. Because I said at the beginning of the year, it's now October, and I've stuck with this. I told y'all at the beginning of the year, I said, I ain't fighting with no black people in 2019. I'm fighting white supremacy. Why am I going to waste my energy fighting another black man or a black woman when I could be spending my energy fighting for black people and fighting against all the pressures that oppress us? So keep that in mind. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, also hit that notification bell. In fact, on the count of 3, everybody please hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell wherever you are. And just type Black Power in the chat to let me know that you did it. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified when we go live, especially those of you on the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's where I go live there on pretty much almost every day to talk about purely financial topics. So some people like to hear me talk about everything black. Dr. Boyce TV covers a lot of that. But if you don't like all that, if you just want the financial stuff and that's it, or if you want both, go subscribe. Theblackfinancialchannel.com is the best daily financial news that you'll get anywhere because I'm smarter than all the people you see on TV. I taught people that are the experts on TV. And I can really say this because my PhD is real and I was a real college professor for all these years. I still am. They didn't take information out of my brain. I actually gained more of it. So anyway, let's move on. So let me give you some quick thoughts that I had this morning about I was just thinking a lot about student loans recently because I had this conversation yesterday with my homegirl from economicelevation.com, Danielle Pierce. If you don't know Danielle Pierce, just look her up. Danielle Pierce is a bad sister. Her website is economicelevation.com. And Danielle and I were reflecting on the student loan epidemic for black women. We were reflecting on the fact that when they look at student loan, here's how crazy student loans are for black people, how jacked up it is. When they look at students 12 years after graduation, pay attention, write this down. Negroes don't talk about these things. That's why we're falling behind. But I need you to write this down. They said that when they looked at students, graduates 12 years after college, they said that for the white male, he's in a student loan crisis himself, where his student loan debt has only dropped about 44%, 12 years after graduation. So that means 12 years after graduation, he can't even really begin. He hasn't really begun building wealth yet. This is talking about younger students like millennials and below. He hasn't even started building wealth because he's still trying to deal with his debt from 12 years ago. He can't move on to his new marriage, his new financial marriage, meaning his new life as a wealth builder, because he's still dealing with his old life, right? He's still paying his ex-wife, which is the student loan debt that he got from college. So the debt's only dropped by about 44%. For black males, it actually is like an insane crisis where for white males, the debt's dropped 44%. For black males, it's actually gone up 11%. So 12 years in, are y'all following what I'm saying? Are y'all following what I'm getting? You just look it up. I don't know the name of the article, but if you look it up, it's on CBS Market Watch or something like that. So for black males who graduated from college, now these are the leading Negroes now. These are the black people that are doing well. And forget let's not even talk about the black people who are struggling, who are really having a hard time, who are in poverty. These are for the Negroes that are doing well, right? Literally, black students who leave college 12 years later, their debt actually goes up, which means that your economic slavery is pretty much expected to last for the rest of your life. It goes up by 11% for black males. For black women, it's actually the worst. For black women, it goes up 13%. So now think about this. What does this mean? Let's process this for a minute. I need y'all to stop for a minute, do a woosah. Remember woosah on Different World? I need y'all to woosah, and we need us to focus and meditate on this information so we can truly internalize the severe niggatry of it all, okay? That means if you go to college, on average, and you borrow, I don't know, let's make the math easy. Let's say $100,000 to go to college. You go to school, you party, step shows, you barking and you stepping and you having a good time and you building, you're like, oh, my life's going to be good. It's going to be lit because I got this degree and this white man gave me a piece of paper. I'm going to be all right. So you borrow $100,000 because what they do is you come in and they pretty much, the surveys say that actually most college freshmen have no idea how much they're borrowing, how long it's going to take to repay it, what the interest rates are. They're not thinking about all that. They're thinking about the parties. They're like, and they doing you like any pimp would do. The pimps are like, the financial pimps are like, hey, just sign here, and then you can go and have fun and go to the parties and have a great time, like they do the athletes. That's how the athletes go broke. They get them to sign these documents and they don't read it. They're like, oh, don't worry about reading it, Tyrone. Just put your name right here on the dotted line. Your Lamborghini's out front, bro. Right? That's how they do the rappers, right? And how they did NWA. Jerry Heller was like, just sign here. And here's a check for $80,000. If you sign right now, you get $80,000. They're leaning on instant gratification because they know the mind of the Negro. They know that when you are into negativity or you are into slave thinking, you're thinking about instant gratification. You're not thinking about the long-term implications of anything, right? So especially if you're 18. I mean, most of us were stupid at 18. Anybody else was pretty stupid at 18. I raised both hands because I was probably doubly stupid, especially when it came to picking girlfriends and stuff. I was really bad at that. But anyway, so you borrow $100,000 to go to college. You graduate. Now, here's what's supposed to happen. The debt's supposed to disappear maybe 7, 8 years, 10 years. And then you start going from a negative net worth to a positive net worth. Net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. You're supposed to go from being in the red to eventually being in the black and then doing well. But that's not what happens. She owes $100,000 on graduation day. 12 years later, statistically speaking, she owes $113,000. So she owes more 12 years in than she did when she graduated. That means that she graduated at 22. She's deeper in debt by the time she's 34. And that's assuming she has no credit card debt, right? That's assuming she's not taking on any other debt, that she doesn't have a car or an automobile debt. Like, what kind of assumption is that? Yeah, yes or no? What do you think? You think she's got a car? You think she's probably got a credit card or two? I don't know what y'all think, but that's what it is, right? So basically she's in this black hole, this financial vortex that is going to probably be very difficult, if not impossible, for her to ever climb out of. Because your debt's not going, you're not progressing. Your situation's not getting better. It's actually getting far worse. And to get your debt to where it grows, because debt grows like a weed. Actually, the equations that I used to teach and that we studied, and when I got my PhD on how wealth grows and how money grows, how debt grows, they grow a lot like plants or like weeds do, or like biology. And so basically, when you let debt sit there and fester, it grows like weeds in your backyard grow when you don't cut the grass, or it grows the way bacteria grows in an old dirty pot that you left in the sink and you went on a 2-week vacation without washing it out. Imagine leaving like some old meat in a pot and then you leave for 2-3 weeks and then you come back and it's all nasty and green and you got a whole community living in that pot now. That's kind of how your debt grows. See, if you don't touch the debt, and that's what a lot of us do, right? I'm not making fun of you. A lot of people are in this situation. Anybody get to the point where your student loan debt is so bad that you just give up on that shit? You're just like, man, fuck this debt. I can't think about it because it's too stressful. If God won't do it, it won't be done. Anybody, y'all know what I'm talking about? Where you just like, man, whatever. You can expect to be paid. They're like, when can we expect payment? And you're like, well, you can expect whatever you want, right? Your expectations are up to you, but the reality is going to be very different, right? And a lot of people do that. It happens all the time. But the downside of that, the challenge of that, though, is that that's when the debt just sits there and it festers. They're adding interest and they're adding penalties. They're adding all kinds of financial fungus onto the debt that's already there, right? And so effectively, that's what's happening. The defaults are occurring. I think half of all Black college graduates default on their student loans. And what that does is that affects other things. That becomes what I call a financial STD, because at that point, you're infected to a point where not completely, not to a point where it's over. You can still be healed and cured, but you're infected because now you go to the bank and you say, I want to buy me a house now. I'm 36 years old. I got me a wife, want to do something for my family. And they're like, we checked your medical records and you have this STD that you picked up in college. And some of it looks like it might be incurable, right? We might give you a shot of penicillin, but I don't know if that'll work, right? And so effectively, it becomes like this crippling sort of thing and becomes a big old mess. Now, here's what I want to do to kind of give you a context in which to think of this. Many of you may already be dealing with student loan debt. And first of all, I want to tell you that it's not over for you, and it's certainly not over for your kids. What I want to do is I'm going to give you a breakdown on it so that you can do what you'd like to do with this information. Whatever you want to do with this information, it's totally on you, but I'm going to break it down in terms of what I see both as a person who was in that college education system for 25 years. Remember, I taught at Syracuse University, Indiana University, Ohio State University, all that. So I saw the students going through school. And then also because I'm a Black man, I understand the Black community's relationship with these universities. And then lastly, because my PhD's in finance, I understand the financial relationship between the Black community and these big white universities. It's one that I actually get a little bit offended by, because what they're doing is they're sucking up your family wealth. They're sucking up your family wealth because they're giving you something that does have value, but it may not have the value that you think that it has. And there may be other things that you could use your wealth for that can give you more value. Okay. Now do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. And by the way, you guys might know I'm going to New York this week. I am going to be in New York City, October 27th, this upcoming Sunday. So if you want to come to that investment seminar, it's 8 hours long. It's going to be really good. Feel free to go to drboycenewyork.com. That's drboycenewyork.com. We are selling out fast. I believe we're actually going to sell out before you get to the door. So don't try to just come to the door. You probably want to get your pass online because it's going to be cheaper and you are guaranteed a seat. People are really, New York is a pretty popular spot for me. So a ton of people are coming. So if you, but I think you guys are going to love it. In fact, I know you're going to love it, because if you don't like it, we give you your money back. So anyway, let's move on. The other thing about this, so here's a couple of things I want you to understand in terms of why a lot of college grads are broke. I think a lot of college grads don't understand why they're struggling financially, because they thought that getting, oh, okay, Kevin says, looking forward to seeing you, Doc. I look forward to seeing you too, brother. I look forward to you. Remind me that we had this conversation. I definitely will give you a hug. All right, so here's the deal. You know, a few reasons why a lot of college graduates are struggling financially and don't understand it, and they're confused, because you're fed an American dream. The American dream goes through, the pathway to that American dream definitely goes through a university. I'm not anti-university. You know, my wife to be, we're getting married July 11th in Southside Chicago. You're all invited to the wedding, by the way. I'll put something up so everybody in here is invited. You know, she teaches at a university. We know what universities can do for you and what they can't do for you. So we're not anti-college. We're not anti-education for sure. The big problem is that a lot of people overspend by going to expensive private schools when there are state schools that will charge you 1/2 as much. And then also getting some areas, some fields don't require a college degree. You know, a college degree, because the price is so high, is really kind of like a overpriced trade school, to a point where you better make sure that whatever you are spending that money on, unless you're independently wealthy, that whatever you're spending that money on is going to give you a good enough salary that's going to allow you to repay that debt. So the student loan debt, credit card debt, stuff like that, that's what's killing a lot of college graduates. That's why a lot of millennials and Generation Y, and I guess there's Generation Z, that's why they have a lot of financial hopelessness, because they're sitting here thinking, my God, I don't know how I'm supposed to pay this. You're asking me for $800 a month and I only make, you know, $2,500 a month. How am I going to do that? Right. And so the other thing, this leads to the second reason why a lot of college graduates are broke. And I tie celebrities and stuff into, because celebrity culture affects Black culture quite a bit. A Nielsen study recently, all the Nielsen studies say this, that Black people are heavily influenced by celebrities. A lot of Black folks want to live like celebrities live. We listen to celebrities. And that's another reason why our community struggles, right? When your community pays more attention to Negroes that are put on TV by white folks, then they pay attention to people that are actually in the community doing the work, that actually care about you, that actually have the knowledge. then of course you're going to lie. Of course you're going to fall apart. Of course you're not going to succeed, right? So that's why when I start the conversation, I always say this is for intelligent Black people only. This is for people that kind of understand this. The masses don't get it. The masses, I think, that we just live in a world of sheep. We don't live in a world of leaders. And so I want to encourage you to dig in and find your inner leader. But the second reason why a lot of college graduates and celebrities don't do well is because a lot of people just have bad revenue vehicles. You see, here's a secret about student loan debt. This is a secret that's going to liberate some of you. It's already liberating some of you already. And I'm gonna just tell y'all straight up, this is the secret, in my opinion. If you're dealing with an insurmountable amount of student loans, you got two choices in dealing with that shit. Choice one is you can keep working for whatever white man you're working for, taking whatever salary he's giving you, and you can eat into your lifestyle to the point where you're living like a pauper, and you're counting your beanie weenies and eating ramen noodles and driving a used Toyota Corolla for the next 35 years. And then maybe by the time you can pay off your student loans before you're dead. Maybe when you're in hospice about to die because they told you that, that the last surgery didn't succeed and you're about to go to be with with Big Mama in heaven, you might be able to go also on that same day, say, I finally paid off my last student loan, right? Right, seriously, like that's one option. That's an option that some people follow. That wasn't how I was going out. I dealt with student loans too. I'm not gonna lie, I had a ton of student loans. I was like, I'm not going out like that. I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life serving people and eating into my lifestyle, not being able to enjoy money because I'm trying to pay off this debt for this overpriced commodity that should never have cost me that much money in the first place. Option two is this. You can re-educate yourself. The biggest vehicles for revenue generation are not things that relate to working for other people. In fact, when you talk about paying student loans, sure, you can keep chopping into your income and saving every penny, or you can just go make more money. Shit, there's money out here, man. Seriously, there's a lot of money out here. I'm not acting like it's easy. I'm not acting like it's, being Black means that they just drop opportunity on your lap, but people that understand, little key ideas about entrepreneurship or join investment groups and entrepreneurship clubs and take little classes on how to create side hustles, they're able to find a way to make extra money. They might not make an extra 10 million a year. Some of them do, but some of them have, you see those stories, right? I'll see the lady that goes into the hair care industry and she'll go learn from somebody online how to scale up her business. Next thing you know, she's making $100,000 a month. I've seen those stories. I've seen many of those, right? But what if you just make an extra $2,000 a month? You bring an extra $2,000 a month, that can be a game changer for a lot of you. That means, number one, you can afford a nicer house. Number two, you can knock out those loans like twice as fast, right? You as you're paying down the debt, you're able to get better credit and buy things and get whatever you want, get a house or whatever, like jump the fence and become an owner instead of a renter, right? So an extra $2,000 a month, a little side hustle can change everything. That can relieve the financial pressure like a mug. That can make a big difference for you. So what I encourage you to do is, if you're sitting up under a whole lot of debt, find you a little side hustle, man. Like maybe join a group, join like an entrepreneurship group where you got people around and all you're talking about is ways to like build side hustles, right? Or you got all these friends and relatives that ain't worth a damn. They just sit around, want to talk to you about the football game, want to talk to you, want to sit and eat chicken with you and talk about what Beyonce just said on the internet. No, I am a believer that when you get together with family, you should also be talking about business ideas and sharing information. Like, okay, well, I saw that there are people over here at my job that would probably buy my cookies if I was able to bake them and sell them. I just need an investor that can help me go buy enough cookie dough and a bigger stove so I can serve more people. So anybody interested in investing? Yeah, I'm interested in investing. See, that's the kind of stuff that we actually teach at our investment seminars, is how to create an economy in your family. The side hustle economy is amazing. I've seen it transform people's lifestyles and take them from the struggle to actual prosperity, where you actually generate what Julian Gordon, he teaches in the Black Business School. Julian Gordon basically says most people don't even have an income. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, income for corporations, income is revenue minus your expenses, right? And whatever's left is your income. He said most people have expenses that match or exceed their revenue, so they have no income. So what happens is when your revenue goes up, your income goes up, and you're able to do a lot more things than you could before. I mean, imagine, think about what kind of place, wherever you live now, now, let's say you live in a place where you're paying $1,200 a month in rent. How nice could you live if you had an extra $600? Let's say you still wanted to rent. It doesn't mean you have to buy a house. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but let's say you chose not to buy a house. You say, I just want to rent. But think about how much nicer your place could be if you had an extra $800 a month where you could pay $2,000 a month instead of $1,200 a month, right? And it was all coming from the side hustle. So it's not affecting your budget, not affecting your lifestyle, not causing you to have to hunker down and squeeze and be in all this economic pain, right? I never liked that. I never liked cutting things out that I enjoy. If I want to go to Starbucks or wherever the fuck and buy me the $6 latte or whatever it is, if that's my thing, then that it's okay for that to be my thing. I don't like these so-called, or these people, I don't call them so-called gurus because I'm making fun of them. I'm not trying to do that. But I don't like these people that make you feel guilty about the things that you enjoy. I believe money is a pathway for fulfillment. I believe money is a pathway for empowerment. Money is a pathway for you to find your bliss, whatever your bliss might be, right? Doesn't mean money itself is your bliss. Money itself doesn't make you happy. It just sits there, right? But like, for example, this week, my bliss was, I said, I want to go to Sedona, Arizona with my beautiful woman, my beautiful fiance, and have a great time looking at beautiful sunsets. And I want to eat nice food without worrying about how much it's going to cost. I did that. So having a little extra money helped me find that bliss, but it wasn't the money itself that made my life better. It was the intelligent application of that extra money that made my life better. Do you follow what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Right? So ultimately, I think the understanding of money is really a pathway to understanding where your bliss is located and not letting something as trivial as money get in the way of that. Right? A lot of people have to go through a lot of horrible shit because they don't have an extra $500 a month. Like, seriously, I have seen women sleeping with nasty ass, ugly ass men because that man is giving them an extra $300-400 a month to help them pay bills. I have seen dudes go out and do ridiculous things and humiliate themselves and take crappy jobs because they don't know how to make an extra $500 a month. So that side hustle economy, at the end of the day, is something that can really ease the financial pressure, help you live a better and a happier life. Now, before I move on, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. Also, some of you are watching on the Black Financial Channel. If you want to join my financial channel where we only talk about financial topics, feel free to subscribe at theblackfinancialchannel.com. And also, if you see on my shirt, we have blagenough.com. That's our social media platform. So if you like Black people and you like to have intelligent Black conversations that aren't going to be censored by the Facebook thought police, feel free to join us at blagenough.com. This is our word, our name. We have this trademark. So this is 100% Black owned. We didn't build the technology. We tried building the app out ourselves, and we spent, I think, literally like $100,000, and it did not work. So we actually had to get the technology built through something that was easier to apply, but we got it done. We got it done. So it exists. It's blagenough.com. So feel free to go to blagenough.com. All right. So the third thing, so we mentioned student loan debt, bad revenue vehicles, meaning not understanding where money comes from and how much easier it is to get by when you make more money. Student loan payments, so let's say your student loan payment is $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month student loan payment is either an insanely large amount of money or it's a tiny amount of money, depending on whether or not you have a side hustle. If you have a side hustle that brings you in an extra $3,000 a month, then you just take $1,000 off the top and your lifestyle stays the same. But if you don't have that, then you're peeling $1,000 out of your pre-existing income, which can really be torturous. Okay, so I see Angelique says, that's why Dr. Watkins, thank you for your donation, by the way. And I see some of y'all also donating the super chat, and I should go through and acknowledge your comments. And I'm truly sorry for that. I was just getting into the topics, and sometimes I just kind of don't distract myself. I apologize for that. Let's see. Angelique says, that's why Dr. Watkins, I'm working to pay both of my daughter's college tuition ends. Therefore, along the scholarships they receive will be graduating debt free. I think that's wonderful. I think it's a great thing for you to do for them. Make sure they understand the pillars of wealth. Make sure they understand how to invest in the stock market, how to buy real estate, and also how to start a business. If they get good, if you have a child that becomes a good entrepreneur, they're going to laugh when people talk about getting a job, because a good entrepreneur can easily make $80,000, $100,000 in a month. You can't make that much on a job unless you're playing in the NBA or the NFL. So put your child in entrepreneurship programs because that gives them at least an opportunity to find out if they can actually, go pro. When we talk about going pro and going to the league, I'm thinking about becoming a successful entrepreneur. Like that to me is it should be the new, what it means to go to the league. Forget the NFL and the NBA. I'm talking about going. I know a lot more people who became millionaires as entrepreneurs than I know people who became millionaires playing sports. Let's see here. Now Flame, I learned from you. Thank you for your donation. I learned from you and put it in music at nileflame.net. So that's nileflame.net. Everybody go support nileflame.net. Let's see. Tim, is that Timnity B? Sorry to mispronounce that. Thank you for your donation. Dr. Boyce, you are the truth. I always learn something new from your videos. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, brother. I certainly will, and I appreciate those kind words. And thank you for those. Thank you for support and everything else. All right. So the last piece I'll throw in here is the reason a lot of celebrities and a lot of college graduates go broke is because you have bad economic culture. Our community's economic culture needs to be modified. It's a culture that's built on working very, very hard for white people, and not a culture that's built on working very, very hard for yourself or for your community. We are the ultimate servants. We are excellent at serving people. We get rewarded publicly for serving people. Whenever we do something that involves protecting whites or serving or helping whites or whatever, we get labeled as heroes or whatever. Like there was the one guy, a very brave brother, two brave brothers I'm thinking about, who actually protected white folks from a mass shooting. There was one guy recently where the kid came to school with a gun, and the black football coach came to check on him. He saw him, and he took the gun away from him, and he hugged the guy, right? And everybody hailed him as a hero, which he is. He is a hero, by the way. But then you go back to talking about hugging. You go back to when Judge Amber Geiger was getting hugged by, Amber Geiger is getting hugged by Judge Tammy Kemp. Y'all remember that? And then you also had. I remember another situation where there was a mass shooter, and there was a brother who was a very brave brother who's a Marine. And by the way, all the vets out here, thank you for your service. And he was saving like a lot of little kids, and they hailed him as a hero. I'm not saying these people aren't heroic people, except for the judge, whatever. I don't know what she was thinking, but I know the guys that protected the children and the families and stopped the shooters. I just have so much respect for them. But there's a reason why black folks kind of are expected. We expect ourselves to be in sort of that helping and supportive role. That's what we do. That's why you have movies like The Help, because we are very helpful. We Oprah, whenever Oprah does a movie with white kids, I think she did a movie called something, A Wrinkle in Time, where she was kind of this mammy guide for these little white kids, right? So we are always the helpers. That's the point. We're always the ones who are supporting and helping everybody else. And I think that that's fine, but I think that there's a point where you're helping so much that you're not helping yourself. Right. So I think it's okay to help other people, but you got to help yourself first. So I think for black people, a lot of our culture is built on servitude. When you go to college, they're really training you to go into higher levels of servitude. You're going from being a field Negro to being a house Negro. You don't have the college degree. You go and you're going to go pick up trash or whatever. You're going to go work in the field. If you do have the college degree, you get to work inside the house. You get to go into the corporation. You get to go sit next to the boss. But you get to spend your whole life, dedicate your whole life working hard for a company that's not yours, right? Something that doesn't allow you to pass anything onto your community. And there's very little conversation about what that means, what it means to actually accumulate assets, to own those assets, and actually pass those assets down. So ultimately, bad economic culture means that you don't have a lot of people that talk about investing. Bad economic culture means you don't have a lot of people that are supporting and trying to become business owners. That's kind of the first line of defense, meaning the first option for black kids should be to own a business or own something that's yours. You don't have to run a business to own a business. You can own a business without running it. You can be a passive investor, right? So that's very important. Also, you have bad economic culture when it comes to excessive spending. When you have black folks that are really hyped up about Gucci and Louis and Hennessy and all these other luxury brands, and then you see the person that actually owned Hennessy and Louis Vuitton. He actually just announced he's now worth over $100 billion. He's almost the richest man on earth. A lot of his wealth came from, at least I would be willing to bet, at least 20% of his wealth, maybe more, maybe 30, 40%, came from the validation he received from the black community and from black rappers. There's something about that culture where if I go out and I grab 1,000 black kids and I give them all $1,000, I'd be curious to know, how many of those kids would take the 1,000 and turn it into 10,000 versus how many of those kids would take the 1,000, turn it into 0, right? So when people are scared to invest, it's very fascinating to me because they're tragically afraid of the idea that if I invest $1,000, my investment value is going to go down and I'm only going to have $800 left. But they're not afraid at all of the fact that when you go spend that $1,000, you're going from $1,000 to 0. You're guaranteeing yourself a negative 100% return. So investing is not risky at all. compared to spending. Investing is not risky at all. It's like the difference between going out into the field where you might get $1 million or you might get shot versus going out into the field and shooting yourself in the head, right? It's much riskier for me to just point the gun at myself than it is for me to go out and have a chance to either be successful or have something bad happen. Do you follow me, right? At least in the first situation, I have a chance of something good happening. In the second situation, there's no chance of anything good happening if I spend up all my money. There's no chance whatsoever that I will have anything to show for my money other than a pair of shoes, other than a pair of jeans, other than, you know, a Gucci bag or whatever, right? That's not an asset. That is a piece of fucking cloth that you carry around that makes you feel better about yourself because you got a white man's label attached to your body. I'm not dissing that. I'm not hating on nobody. Some of y'all like nice stuff. Some of y'all like the Louis and the Gucci and the Calvin Klein. I'm not hating on any of that. That's fine. Maybe that's high quality stuff. That's fine. But that's what you spend your money on after you've taken care of the number one brand in your household. The number one brand in your household is not Gucci. It should not be Chanel. It should not be Louis. The number one brand in your household should be your family name. In my household, there is no brand greater than Brand Watkins. In my household, Brand Watkins is better than Gucci, Louis, all of that shit, because that's the brand that we're going to protect and preserve. That's going to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars in the next generation. So never put another man's brand or another woman's brand or anybody's brand ahead of your brand. When it comes to your family name is your family brand, and that is the brand you invest the most in. Point blank, period. Do you follow what I'm saying? Do you follow me? Please give me a confirmation that you get what I'm saying and that this conversation has helped you on some level. I'm not here to just speak about the glory of being Boyce Watkins and how wonderful I am. I appreciate all the love and support you guys give me, and that means so much to me. But I'm really talking about you. I need you to dig deep and find the power in you and to just know that, you know, there's so much out here for you. You just got to be willing to go for it. Okay. So I need you to pick it up, go for it. And when it comes to that negativity, when it comes to that slave culture and all that shit, I need you to just say no. Just say no to all of that. Walk away from it. Leave it behind. Don't get caught up in it. It's being marketed to you everywhere. They've engaged in mass brainwashing of the black community, and that's why when Popeye's Chicken comes back out with their chicken sandwich, we're gonna act like a bunch of damn coons going to chase down Popeyes to go get some greasy ass diabetes food that's got too much sugar, too much fat, any kind of poison you can inject into an animal. They've injected it into us, and we'll pay money for that. We're like, you know, you don't have to force us to eat it. We want to eat it, right? And that's fine. Go get your Popeye's chicken sandwich if that's what you want to do. But after you do that, please reject this Negro thinking, man, seriously, because that's what's killing us. Everybody, and the reason I'm forceful in this message is because we got people out here that, you know, are so-called liberal allies who don't like messages like this. They think that when I challenge black folks to do better, that somehow it's victim blaming. But I don't see black people as a perpetual victim. I don't see myself as a victim. They think that when we talk about building our own, that somehow that's racist, or that's somehow, you know, that's not appropriate thinking. That's right-wing thinking or whatever. And I don't care about right-wing or left-wing or any of those wings. I just want us to fly, man. Like at the end of the day, right wing, left wing, I give zero fucks about any of that. I'm voting for black people. Like I want to see you understand how this game is played so that you can win this game, because I know you can win this game. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to share, guys. Quick recap: hit the thumbs up button, please, before you go. Please hit the share button, subscribe button. Also, I'll be in New York October 27th this weekend. You can go to drboycenewyork.com if you'd like to come out. That's drboycenewyork.com. Some of you have asked if we're going to live stream the event. We are not going to live stream the event, but I have done that series of lectures already at drboycemasterclass.com. So if you can't make it and you want to see the lectures that are going to be provided at the event, you can actually go sign up at drboycemasterclass.com. The recordings are there. When I launch another masterclass, if you're already in there, then you'll get to come to the live masterclass sessions for free. I probably won't do that for a couple of months, but when I do, you can actually come to that for free. So it's drboycemasterclass.com, or you can come to the live event at drboycenewyork.com. If you want your children to be in business school, I'm a big advocate of that. Feel free to go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That is our program for children. It's very, very good. We have thousands of kids, and our guarantee is that if your child does not have a financial literacy level that exceeds the average college educated adult, then we will give you your money back. So when your child is done, your child, your 9-year-old, your 8-year-old, I guarantee this, they're going to understand financial concepts that maybe you don't even understand. They're going to understand concepts that most of their 40-year-old relatives won't understand, because I know how to teach. I know this stuff really well, and that's what I've been doing for 25 years. So I'd love to teach your child as well if you would allow me to. So last but not least, if you haven't joined Blag Enough, make sure you join Blag Enough. We're actually going to have a spades tournament in Joliet, Illinois, in early November or mid-November, something. I think around November 10th, something like that. So I'll make an announcement then. If you happen to live in the area, you want to come out. Literally, this is not even a financial event. This is just me getting some Black people together to have some fun. So we are going to do that in Joliet. And then also somebody's asking, when am I coming to Houston? We were already in Houston. We were in, oh, you're coming from Houston. I'm sorry. Oh, I think that's great. Well, when you come to Houston, let me know that you came all that way, and maybe I'll give you something free as a thank you for your commitment. I am actually going to Houston pretty soon, though. I think Willie D, Willie D from the Ghetto Boys, he's a friend of mine, and he's having a roast. I think a bunch of like Mike Epps and a bunch of other people are going to roast him, and so he asked me to come to it. So I was like, okay, sure. So I need to get out more and have some fun. So anyway, guys, take care, and say hi, Alicia. Can you hear him? Can you hear?
Oh, hello.
Oh, okay. So Alicia's over there. She says hello, and don't forget, you guys are all invited to our wedding, July 11th. I'm gonna marry that beautiful Black woman, south side of Chicago at the Rockefeller Chapel on the University of Chicago campus. That was we picked that chapel because one, I wanted to be on the south side of Chicago because I wanted to be near Black folks and I wanted the community to be invited. And two, she is a third generation graduate of the University of Chicago. And so that gave her access to the chapel, and it's really, really big, and it's beautiful, and it's going to be so much fun, and you don't have to pay a nickel to come. If you just show up, then we will let you in, and it's going to be a great day. I'm very, very excited, because I kind of want to feel, I'm excited about Black love. Like, I like the idea of Black people having our own versions of royal weddings, because that way we don't get excited when like Meghan Markle goes marry some white dude who's like made all his money because his ancestors were slave masters. Like, that's not exciting for me. That didn't interest me. I thought that was actually a step down for her, not a step up. And so to me, I think the step up for Black men is to marry a Black woman. A step up for Black women is to marry a Black man. And that's just what I believe, and that's just who I am. Doesn't mean I'm making fun of you if you do anything different. Doesn't mean I'm going to call you out if you marry a white guy. Some of y'all are married to white folks right now, and it's okay. It's okay. I love you. I respect you. Your love is your love. But at the end of the day, my belief is that Black love must be at the center of Black economics. Black love must be at the center of Black empire building, and the Black woman is the center of the universe, because without her, there will be no life, there will be no us, and that's what I believe. So will we need to RSVP for the wedding? Yes, I am going to have. We are going to ask everybody to RSVP. That's the only thing, just to make sure the numbers match. But outside of that, yeah, you can just come on down. I'd love to see all of you there. So anyway, take care, guys. Have a good day. Love you. See you soon. Peace.